Thank you for joining us on another episode of SFN News. My name is Diane. Welcome to the show. We have a special guest with us today, Prince Jordan. Prince Jordan, welcome to the show.
Diane, thank you for having me. It is such a pleasure to be here on the first day of Fleet Week this year.
Yes, we are kicking off Fleet
Yes,
Week,
we
aren't
are.
we?
Yes, we are. Despite the government shutdown and everything that's going on, we're still championing on, and Fleet Week is happening all across the San Francisco community, and still a great way to celebrate the Navy and the Navy's 250th birthday. So, yeah,
250th.
250th birthday, pretty historic, huh?
Yes,
Mhm.
very historic.
Yeah.
First off, we want to thank you for your service.
Thank you for your support.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much for your service to our
Yes.
country. And tell us, how did how did your military career begin?
My military career began in late 2018, early 2019. I actually went to military school in Oakland by the name of Oakland Military Institute, and commuting from San Francisco to Oakland every day for 6 years will really teach you some military rigor and give you a backbone on how to get to work every day and
Yeah.
just have that focus. But that was somewhat of a start, and I had rose through the ranks in my school in 2018 as the biggest class in Oakland Military Institute's history. I was one of the senior ranking officers at that school, and in my class being cadet first lieutenant. So I kind of kicked it off, but I didn't know I was going to join the Navy in 2018.
So what inspired you?
Well, what inspired me was just the commitment to service. You sign a contract to be property of the United States government 24/7, not knowing that the sacrifice that you're making, sacrificing events with your family, prior career aspirations and goals that you've had, will lead you to this. But defending and supporting and upholding the Constitution of the United States of America was what was really near and dear to me.
Okay.
And I already had a military history and a backbone anyway built off of OMI. So I said, you know what? Why not? Let me give it a try.
What's OMI?
Oakland Military Institute.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. Also, you're the youngest person appointed to the Veterans Affairs Commission.
I am, and it's 43-year history making history here in the city and county of San Francisco. Yes.
Wonderful. So how does that feel?
It feels amazing. I mean, it's more than just a title and a position for me, but it's a great way to continue the advocacy and to gain support for our military veterans and their families here in the city and county of San Francisco because they're so underrepresented here.
I wonder why they're underrepresented.
Well, it's partially due to the political climate, and not a lot of people here in the city and county of San Francisco are educated on what their military does. Military is way more than just fighting wars, right? Is what the public perception
Right.
is what people think. But there are also humanitarian efforts that our military takes care of and does overseas for other countries and people that are deserving of it and people that are in need. So, our San Francisco community, just our electeds, our community leaders, and just the community as a whole here in the city and county of San Francisco, I feel should be educated more on their military. We're not all war, 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 war. There's good to the military too. And thank God we have one of the best militaries in the world. And we don't have to worry about missiles or anything flying over our heads or our freedoms being taken from us.
Good point.
Yes.
Excellent point.
Yes.
Outstanding point. And I also want to ask you, so speaking of our veterans, how many veterans do we have? What are the challenges facing veterans here in San Francisco?
So approximately we have 23,000 veterans that live here in the city and county of San Francisco. The biggest issue that our veterans face here is homelessness. Last year, when the city did a point in time report, which we call a PIT report, we found that 587 veterans were out homeless on the streets. struggling, out of the 23,000 that we have. And so that number has kind of decreased, but not as significantly as we would like it. It's about 538, 537 now. But one veteran is too many to be left out on the streets with all the resources that we have here in the city and county of San Francisco to house people, and not let alone the VA is right up the way,
Right.
Fort Miley. So,
Right.
no veteran is undeserving of not having a home or being connected to their resources. And so that's something that I'm really championing for, is making sure that no veteran is left behind and is left out on the street and without any resource.
Yeah, so I would say it should be illegal.
Ha!
There ought to be a law.
Yeah.
I mean, amazing.
Yeah.
Now, you're already active in the Lions Club
Yes.
and the Wreaths Across America.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So this year, August of 2025, I was appointed as not appointed, but I was voted in as the San Francisco Unified Lions Club's vice president for its 10th year anniversary. So it's such a huge step in just being out there in the community with my fellow Lions, serving and making sure that the communities that we're serving are benefiting from the things that we're doing. And just to add to that, Wreaths Across America, I had previously just stepped down from that last year in December of 2024 to focus my efforts and my energy and time on making sure that veterans and military families have a seat at the table, that they're heard, they're seen, and that they feel valued here, because they don't, quite frankly. And that's the time we're living in here.
Wow. So veterans, meaning they've served their country,
Yes.
and then they're not prioritized. They're not.
No. It's really a shame that all other communities here, for example, the AAPI community, the LGBTQI community, the Latino community, and the African American communities here in San Francisco are more prioritized as far as support from elected officials and funding from the city and advocacy and community support. But when it comes to veterans, it's something that we barely talk about. Veterans are the last to be included in any conversation in this city.
I don't understand that. Well, we'll have to do something about that. And I know that you're working on it. I know you're working
Hard.
with Veterans Affairs. As the
Yes.
new commissioner,
Yes.
you can do a lot of more good.
I've got a lot of things lined up for
Good.
our veterans and military families here, and it's going to be very beneficial to them. I want veterans to continue, veterans and their families to continue to come to the city and county of San Francisco, to live here, to work here, to educate themselves here, and to call this home, because this is a place for everybody.
It is a place for everybody. And what's amazing, so we need a veterans community.
Yes.
One of the great things about that is veterans can get the respect that they deserve. They're a community.
Yes.
Now, you said there's about 536 or 38 veterans on the street. I wouldn't be surprised if the count is higher. Some people have probably checked out.
Yeah.
I can't think of the number out of the people that we see on the street. I always wonder how many of them may have been maybe a veteran, may have had a constructive life at some point.
Yes.
But the veterans, I've always felt that they should not, for lack of a better expression, want for anything.
And there's a narrative here to add to that, Diane, here in the city and county of San Francisco, that I've heard from elected officials and community leaders that says that, veterans just want, and need, and they feel entitled to everything. And that is very disheartening to me that they think that. And part of that also, too, is that they feel that all veterans are mentally ill, have PTSD, they're on drugs, all these different stereotypes they have about these people who have sacrificed so much for this country.
Right.
It's very disheartening, and it's distasteful when I hear things like that. But hey, if this is what you think, then okay. Me and some of the other people that I work with are going to show you different, because there are veteran success stories out there. A
Yes.
lot of veteran success stories out there. The
Yeah.
most diverse, multi-talented group in the United States of America.
And that was what I thought as well.
Mhm.
It's diverse.
Yes.
All colors,
Yes.
creeds, everyone.
All races,
Yes.
all sexes,
Yes.
all gender,
Yes.
everything.
Yes. Yes.
So it's we as a city and as a community here in the city and county of San Francisco and across the Bay Area have a lot to do and a lot to fix, and we need to bridge the gap between our military veterans, their families, and the community, and our elected officials.
We do. And speaking of our elected officials and bridging the gap, Mayor Laurie is doing some innovative things. Are veterans on his radar? And if not, what do we need to do to call this to the mayor's attention?
Well,
this is so serious.
The mayor is the type of leadership this city needs, and he's got great ideas and great initiatives for a lot of other groups and a lot of other people. When it comes to veterans, veterans aren't necessarily on his radar. He can do more. The mayor can do more, and he must do more.
Like, what should he do?
He should make sure that, for one, starting off, that with this homelessness crisis we have going on and the fentanyl crisis we have going on in the city, that veterans are the first to be taken care of, and their priority. They're number one.
Excellent. Excellent point.
They serve their country.
Yes.
They're entitled to it. They deserve it. They should be number one at the top of the list.
I agree.
Then we can adjust as we go and move forward with other initiatives. But those are the biggest two that we need to target, that he needs to target.
Okay.
And as far as our board of supervisors and our electeds go, they also need to do the same thing as well. For us to have such a large population of veterans here in this city, and San Mateo being probably the Bay Area's leading city with 30,000.
And you mentioned we had
23.
Okay,
23,000. We can do more for all the resources and all the money that is here in this city. And the rich history of the military to begin with, from the previous world wars that helped build this city.
Right.
Yeah, we should do more. We can be doing more.
Right. We must do more.
We must do more. Yes.
Yes. So you'll have to come back because we have to unpack. We have a lot to discuss. And whatever we can do here at SFN, because we're social justice, we want to do it.
It'll mean so much. It'll mean so much to the people watching that are veterans, that are a part of the veterans and military family community. It'll mean so much. And we have so much more to do, but it's going to be done.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Fleet Week. Fleet Week. This is kind of our kickoff for Fleet Week. And people are, including myself, so what can we expect for Fleet Week this year?
Well,
and in light of some of us are a little like, are the Blue Angels coming? But we're still going to have a Fleet Week, right?
We will have a Fleet Week. The Canadians are here and they are putting on an air show. So they've replaced the Blue Angels for this year, despite the government shutdown. But across the various neighborhoods and across the communities here in San Francisco, there will be free bands that'll be out here performing. So the Navy and Marine bands will be out here performing. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Air Force bands will be out here doing free concerts for the communities and the neighborhoods as well.
Good. Yes. That's good to know.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to wrap this up. But before we end, I want to ask you, what does Fleet Week mean to the veteran community?
Fleet Week means to us is being celebrated, being valued, and just being seen in the community. When you see those people in uniforms that are currently serving and they are giving so much to our country and make sure that we're enjoying our freedoms that we have to this very day means a lot. And so seeing those Blue Angels in the sky, even though we won't have them this year, but the service members walking the streets. The service members in the bars. The service members in the neighborhoods talking to people. It's a celebration of our military and the history of our military here. And so I encourage anybody that's out there in the community that sees somebody in uniform or sees somebody wearing any veteran related gear to ask them about their story of how they joined and why they did it, and to thank them for their service, because it means so much. It's not often that we hear that and that we celebrate the military or our veterans here in the city and county of San Francisco. We do it
Okay.
seasonally, but we don't do it year round. And we need to get back to doing it year round to make sure that our community members of the military and veterans community feel valued and that they're a part
Very
of the
well
community.
stated.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So, we're going to end the show now, but we want to thank you again
Oh, thank you
for your
the support.
service to
Thank
our
you for your
country.
support.
Thank you for your service to our veterans. We look
Thank you.
forward to you coming back
Thank you.
and keeping us updated, and let us know whatever we can
Yes.
do to help.
I look
Just
forward
give
to
us a
being
call.
back. Absolutely.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Prince
Thank
Jordan.
you. Thank you, Diane. Thank you.
We want to thank you for joining us for another episode of SFN News. And we want to thank our special guest, Prince Jordan. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Remember, stay active, stay engaged, stay informed. And when you see a service member, thank them for their service. And it would be great if you would ask them how they began their service and what motivated them. Let's appreciate those that protect us. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.